Hello and welcome to Playing Favorites. I'm Paul.
I'm Justin.
Hey Justin, how are you?
Hello. How's it been? How you doing? We have some cool stuff to talk about today. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. And I'm excited to talk to the Star Wars about a Star Wars TV show. I was really going to say, like, we should call this episode Paul Asks the Star Wars. Like, that should just be like a series of episodes we'll do sometime.
In the works,
But
in the works. But yes, finally, you've done it. You've completed it with a little nudging from
yes.
myself on Star Wars Day.
Mhm.
You got through it. You did it, and I think you're for the better.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I stuck with it and finished it. Um, but yes, we're here today. We haven't even said it, I don't think, but we're here today to
It's on
talk
the
about
it's on the thumbnail.
Andor.
Yeah.
Yes, if you clicked on this and you're like, I wonder what they'll discuss today.
Who is that dude that's
Um,
on the picture? Who is that? Name of Andor.
Caspian Sea? Is that Prince Caspian? So Cassian Andor, yeah, in the 2 seasons of Andor, which I gotta say, I think that was a very like good chunk, good size.
Sure.
In terms of length and what it's trying to link up to. I thought that was really good. Good
So
choice. 2 seasons, plenty.
So you're fresh off this. Like I kind of watched this.
Mhm.
We're recording this a little, like a month and a half or 2 months after it came out, something like that. But you got to watch both seasons, kind of really right next to each other, where I kind of had this gap of time. So I really want to know your take on how that condensed experience was. Even though like you kind of watched like the first like what 4 episodes, then you left it for like months.
I did. I did. I watched the first episode and then stopped. And then I went back and watched the first episode again and the first like is that the first two arcs or
And you
whatever?
stopped like in the beginning of the second arc from when I picked you back up again. We were like
That's right.
you like stop right before it starts getting good. Like you like you kind of just didn't
Yeah.
give it that one extra
And
push.
I think that's something we have to just mention right off the
Sure.
bat,
Okay.
and that is that the first that it is kind of slow in the
It is.
beginning.
It
And if you
is.
ask me, but it's like any like introduction to a character, I know there's going to be like backstory, but it's I guess it is more about like what he does with his life than where he came from is
Sure.
what's important. So I guess I don't. If you were to ask me like what do I remember from season one, it's like all Ferrex all day. Like what's
Mhm.
going on there. His mom, Marla is her name.
Marva.
Marva, thank you. And she's also Aunt Petunia
Yep.
from the Harry Potter movies,
Yep.
as well as Bowser's wife in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Go check out our review on the Mario movie. Anyways, yes, yeah. Season one, like I that's why
Good
I
movie.
actually before we started just to kind of chime in, like it is just the ending that gets like awesome. Like Adani with the heist, it
Yeah.
gets really cool. Like I think the shots of them like leaving with from the bank and stuff. The I forget what they call it, but
The
it's like this.
payroll.
No, like even it's not like the thing in the sky, the event that's happening, that whole thing that's supposed to happen, the sky
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Like that
Yep.
visual is really neat and all that stuff.
It
But yeah, like
is.
it is like the prison break in season one is really gets real good, and then the obviously the thing that happens in Ferrex as well is
Well,
is pretty awesome as well too.
so what links those two parts is what I really I enjoyed, or at least thought was compelling television. When the guy who I forget the name of the actor, but he plays the Thing now in the Fantastic Four new movie. He's
Okay,
also the brother in the Bear on Hulu there.
I've seen
Um,
neither of these things, but who you
the
talking
one
about?
who betrays, who's ready to betray the cause for
Oh, I
and just
see.
like kill everybody and take the credits.
Gotcha. Oh,
I forget his I forget his
I know
name.
who you're talking about now. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Not Namek,
Yeah.
who named for the planet from
Jack Ballsy.
can't you I mean like like some of these names are like didn't somebody tell them? It's Namek. It's like
Well,
seriously,
I
what
already
the fuck is Namek?
I already have my own issues with it because it's like Andor from Wheel of Time, and you got a character named Aaron
Right?
in it as well. Like, so it's like too many cross references to for me.
Exactly. Where's the
Um,
chicken? Where's the egg? Who came
yeah,
first
but
here?
the guy that's like he had like the tattoos and the markings and like all that stuff. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
But his scene when they finally get away and Namek is dying, being
Hmm.
treated,
Yep.
and I forget the name of the actress who's one of the agents of Stellan Skarsgård there, who's
So
helping to lead that this.
Mon Mothma's cousin. That's who you're talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, she's in there with him, and Cassian and that dude are just like by themselves, and he's like, like we could just take the money and run right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Like
and he was ready to just to betray the cause,
yeah.
and
It's a great like spotlight a lot of these like across the series because I know we want to try to discuss the entire thing.
Mhm,
It shows all the faults of this rebellion so well, like that right there. You're grabbing people that you kind of need, like he's needed for that mission, right? This guy that,
yep,
but then he like once he realizes there's no benefit for him, there's no reason for him to be part of this. He's like he kind of thinks of as a failure. He makes a choice. It's like all these people are about to die. I have no one really to stop me from taking this thing, and it seems like Cassian might be the person that could help me out. He's probably going to try to betray him too, but I just it's that kind of those types of characters kind of sort of is a through line through it throughout the rest of the series a little bit. Like you have a lot of people that just don't seem to do the right thing or are in the rebellion for the wrong reasons or make
mhm.
mistakes and all that stuff. Like that's like kind of the beauty of this show is just
All the
it's
uns all Yes, all the unsavory characters that they have to get involved with, like Mon Mothma and that dude, right? Who's she was like the financier. She was like, I can't believe I have to associate with this man.
yep,
Um, but not only that, she has to watch her daughter marry his son, like to
yep,
see that, watch that happen, see her daughter drink the Kool-Aid and just kind of fall into this like traditionalist
yeah.
view.
You
And
love the
she's like,
dancing scene, I know that.
and it's just the ones that are like the 16-hour videos of Mon
Yeah.
Mothma dancing. Like after a point, I was just like frustrated. I was like, why? Like
Why
it
not?
was a it was an insignificant scene to me. The
Oh,
only reason why it was significant because I was like, they cut to her 3 times, which was one time too many. They should have
okay.
only done it
I don't
twice.
know if I agree
Feel like it
completely. Like I
overstayed its
thought
welcome.
that scene was a little chill. Like it was chilling a little bit to me. Like it was
Yeah.
like,
No,
it's
no,
like you
she's
kind of.
going off the rails.
I think it just like the way they handled it. I think it made sense. Why they almost made you uncomfortable by how long they spent on it, because that's just kind of what that's meant to be. It's like she's just literally kind of burying herself in sorrow in a sense. And
Yeah.
it's like she's got like what people you might think is like the easiest role in that part of the rebellion. Like she's in the high
Mhm.
like the higher up, she's got a good life, like, but she
Yep.
has to be
Softest role.
so like hidden from everyone else, but and then we're kind of jumping around, but like I'm so glad that you like I wanted to touch on like I
Well,
know
I mean,
you've been skeptical of Star Wars in a little bit, like and in
oh
like
yeah,
and
I still am.
I love how much you love this show that I knew you would,
Yes.
and I'm just glad that you went through it. And it's such a great show to happen to Star Wars
Mhm.
as being such a biased Star Wars I am. I know I like it more than I probably should, but
It's
there's something
no,
special
no,
about the series.
I don't think I don't think bias is any reason for liking this show. I think this show
Oh,
stands on its
I meant
feet
like other
really well.
projects. Like I meant other projects. Like I
Oh,
tend to be loving
well,
other ones. I'm just saying I am excited that there is a huge positive response to everyone that kind of agrees that this is a
yes.
great show. There's some people that like I wish there was more like adventure like lightsabers and maybe it's too serious like get your politics out of Star Wars type stuff and the whatever. But like I think
But
overall this is a great made amazing made show. It's like it's awesome.
what's amazing about it to its creation is that as it's airing, things are actually happening in our country. that kind of mirror the
Mm,
situations,
yeah.
in at least in spirit, if not in in actuality, of course. And like I like so it's just yeah, it's kind of a cultural moment too. So I'm glad to have invested the time in watching it. It seems like it's um, getting traction as a way of kind of understanding how these things start, and they are not perfect. And that that dude who betrayed them, and Cassian kind of goes off. I do love that they show him trying to live life with just money, just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go live a
Yeah.
material existence now and try that. And how sad it is, how like in the end it's just like not there's no value to it. And it's just as easy, like he gets in trouble and sent to prison
Yeah. And I
for
think
non-rebellious activity, for just
that
being himself in
I
public.
I think that's a was the when I was in the moment watching it, because it's just to kind of add a little bit, like our take on this show, I think before it even came out, it's like, why would I want to watch the backstory of Cassie and Andor? Like I think that was everyone's response. It's like, I don't. Why are we getting a backstory of this character?
By him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and I think like how they set up his journey was fine. Like you said, like you don't really remember the beginning arc as much. It wasn't like as this prominent thing,
Yeah.
because, and then even Aldani, it's like he didn't have a reason to join the rebellion yet. Like him just
Yep.
doing it was just for survival, and like that seemed like me more his character. He needed something to happen to him to like really kind of put him over the edge
Yeah.
to actually support the rebellion. Even still, even through the rebellion, he'd always find the flaws of everyone he would run into. It's like, I don't really truly trust this role or this path, and he'd always make changes because he was kind of surviving, but it always led to where he needed to be, in a sense, which is kind of the point of the show. It's like he gets all this information. They kind of hint at that later in the second season with like the Force healer and stuff. Like he's like kind of a messenger with what they call. I think that's what they call him, right? Is like he's gathering
Yeah.
information. I wasn't sure what your thought on that whole thing was, but like, with
I
regardless
thought
of,
it was enough, because they make a force user out to be what they should be at this time period, which is like rare, number one,
yep,
and kind of crazy. You think of them as some kooky old wizard,
sure,
you know? And she fit that mold really well. And I don't look at her as prophetic. It's more like she's imperfectly understanding the force, but sees
yeah.
something and is trying to vocalize it. So I was like fine with that.
Well,
That was as
yeah.
much force stuff as really I wanted. I didn't want more. I didn't want lightsabers. I
Well,
didn't want Jedi,
it
because this was the story we were like, we wanted to see this more of the seedy underbelly, and like how, like, just like
sure,
the world itself, like the difference of living in Coruscant and the Senate lifestyle, and like what it's like on just like a mining planet. Like,
sure,
really, what is
yeah.
the like day to day for many years, what it's like in these places.
Yeah. No, and
And
I was just using her message that's like, there was like, that was kind of like them maybe being a little bit too, on the nose a little bit on what they're trying to do with Cassian. It's like, well, he's just kind of going through and gathering information and to be do a
yeah,
specific role. That, I mean, that was kind of like a, I don't know the term they use for in writing, but like, or movie telling. I forget the term I'm trying to say, but it's just a way of foreshadowing, I guess, what's going to happen in Rogue One, which we already knew. But I am glad that they put that
yeah,
in there, because it is weird that you watch this whole series and there isn't really a reference to the Force, but then when you get to New Hope, they say may the Force be with you all the time. So
yep.
obviously there's like this like still spiritual connection to that old religion, because it's not like dissipated. It hasn't gone away. So it was nice to see
No,
the rebellion still had it a part of them, even though not everyone trusted it.
I don't know if they would call it a religion so much as they would say
Or a
like
belief.
going back to the old republic, like going back to when we everybody had a kind of a say in the Senate, like,
Oh, the high.
and may the force be like the not like, maybe not the high republic, but just like the
Okay,
idea
gotcha,
of the
gotcha.
republic again, and
Yeah,
like what the Jedi stood for before they were betrayed and all that,
gotcha.
you know. So no, I think that's what makes the series really interesting because it is a variety of settings and people that you want to know about. They're like questions that we had about like life in the Star Wars universe,
Mhm.
about like life in the Empire. Like, what is it if you are an
Oh, that
Imperial
was
supporter?
such a great. I
You
mean,
know, like Dedra's character was excellent. I mean, that girl, that lady, that actress was made to frown.
yep,
And I saw like a brief interview with her where like her mom used to tell her
yep,
like you frown so easily, like you
yeah.
have to learn to smile. And her smiles were always creepy. The way so she's like,
No, I'd
but
seen the ISB for the first time on
yeah,
live
how
action
that works
because
in their kind of
yeah, like
hierarchy.
I've seen the ISB in books, in comics, and games, and like I've seen that before. But getting that in live action and just one thing, the set design for the show is
Cool.
just like phenomenal.
Yes.
Like it's like I didn't mind the volume like the first like 20 minutes, but then after a while I got tired of like the volume set they use for like the Mandalorian and
Yes.
stuff like that.
No.
It just
We want to
it's
see
yeah,
real thing.
them
Yeah.
putting like the effort to like shoot it like this and put the effort into it, and I think that's why they were able to. They only did the 2 seasons, which I think was great. I have my own little thoughts. I'm like, I think I need a little more information here and there of gaps,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit. Like it's more me wanting more of the show, not necessarily that it's needed. But I think that
Like
allowed
yeah.
if they were to spread that out to 5 years, let's say, I don't think we would have gotten as high quality of a show because obviously the budget wouldn't have been able to support it. Because I think by condensing it and being good at writing, you were able to make this great 2 season experience that honestly is rewatchable. Like, I mean, before we hopped on, because it's been a while since I've watched season one, I my favorite episode, I'm just gonna say it out there, is the prison break. I absolutely love it. The Gorman Massacre is a great episode. It's just something about the
Ooh.
prison break episode that I just absolutely love it. I just like how it's presented, how it's handled, how it's shot, just the acting of it. Andy Serkis is phenomenal in that whole thing. His speech.
And the build up to it, the like, this is your life, this is what you have to do. Just do this
Hmm.
and you'll be fine. And like believing in the system. And then the like signaling between each group to like learn, like, oh, a dude was released and then he was just shunted to a different floor and just given another sentence.
Yep.
And they're not letting anybody out, and like that spreading like wildfire. It's amazing because it's a cool concept. First of all, the way that whole prison, the production design on that was really
It made me think of
awesome,
it was such an
down to the
homage.
cells.
Yeah, it was such an
And that's
homage.
where Dedra ends up too, which
Oh
is
yeah,
really
that's
like,
true.
ooh,
But like, what
there-
made me really, it was kind of like I don't even know. I think I'm not sure if this is what they're going for, but if they did, it's a great. It almost was an homage to THX 1138, like that kind of
hmm,
movie, that vibe, that like kind of like white, stark white background and set design, and it just
like washing out the camera. Yeah,
it
yes.
just felt like George Lucas, like when he was artsy, like before Star Wars. It just felt like him, and I was like,
Hmm.
because you have a lot of that throughout the series with like the starkness of the ISB, all of that, like all the white rooms and everything. Oh man, I love it. And I know we seem like we're talking about season one a lot. It's only because I haven't watched it in a while, so I was just kind of curious about your opinion. But I
Let's talk Gorman, man. Let's
yeah,
I mean,
the
for
French
the
planet of Star
yes,
Wars.
Space France, as we called it. Yeah, it's definitely Space France. And it was cool to see a prosperous world because we get a lot of, down and dingy and kind of run down, almost post-apocalyptic looking
Sure,
places.
that's right.
Lots of deserts. It was cool to see a place that's thriving and really like an independent system,
Hmm.
one that's not doesn't really need the republic, doesn't really need the empire. It's because of its cloth, because of and it's calcite that they need, right?
Yes.
That pure unrefined calcite.
Yep.
that's buried deep under Gorman, which starts this whole thing in motion. But it's funny to think that to me it felt like for a moment Dedra and what's his name there,
Cyril,
the no, not Cyril, her their superior,
Partagas, or I don't know how to say his last.
Partagast,
Yeah,
yes, Partagast, something, yeah, Partagast.
something like that. Something like
Uh,
that.
yeah, their very calculated kind of gambit to try to like provoke a resistance on the planet to basically create a rebellion to then use that to frame the whole situation and why the empire needs to be there and needs to
Yeah.
suppress it, and then it turns into a propaganda war, and
Mm-hmm.
all you hear is the
Yep.
republic, the imperial propaganda saying like, oh, these Gorman insurrectionists or whatever, they're um against the public good and trying to rabble rouse. Yeah, it's really interesting to see that unfold, and just how much of it is like a PR battle. How do you keep people happy with the empire? Is you make it sound like everything's going great. Even
Yeah.
setbacks are somehow part of the plan. Like you can't ever admit that you're wrong or that you made a mistake.
Yeah, and that
It's
that
always part
that
of the
whole
plan.
thing resonates. I mean, with what's going on now. I mean, it's not as extreme.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's more fantasized and
Of
more
course.
flamboyant, I guess, presentation. But like, just the what you're pointing at me?
I just, yeah, I wanted to say, and that's why Partagast's exit, putting a
Yeah,
bullet or
sure.
a laser bolt in his head instead of going and meeting with the emperor,
Hmm.
right? He was summoned to meet with Palpatine. That's the ultimate. It's like that was a great message too, like a really like
Hmm.
in these authoritarian systems,
Yeah, you don't.
you're only as good as, what you've done lately, and if
Mhm.
you messed up, you're screwed.
Yeah,
And he took
it's
he took what he thought was the
it.
the easy way.
The one thing to add to, like, because I know we're trying to keep it concise here, but like the thing about season two, I think was great. It showed I mean, it showed all these little small moments like the one you just suggested, that
Mhm.
it only was maybe like a 30 seconds, but sometimes that's all you really needed of that information, right? It was very
You
simple.
understand,
You
yeah.
understand it. Like, it just like the little subtle acting that after when you hear the gunshot, like his colleague that comes to get him,
Yeah, he
he
just
does
puts his
he
hand
puts
like,
his heads down, like it's
um
like kind of solemnly, like, he puts his hand up. It's like there's no dialogue. It's not about like what they're saying. It's the actions that they're doing, right? And like,
and we have to credit Tony Gilroy, the creator and writer of the series, with
mhm,
a lot of this, because that's really efficient storytelling, being able to, with just some gestures, and a sound effect, to really convey like, yeah, this guy took his life. A, yes, he's dead, and B, it's not surprising. And C, that tells us how terrible it must be to be called to that principal's office,
mhm.
and why you would never want to do
Yeah,
that.
and we don't,
And
as
that's
if
what
you're
makes
if you're a Star Wars fan, like, you don't need to know what's going to happen with the Emperor. You kind of know that, as even if
just
you
imagine,
but if you don't know Star Wars, say it's your first time watching this, say you never really you don't know Emperor Palpatine like I do, for example. Like, I mean, I know everything he can do, right?
bros.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're tight, we're tight. But like, just that one shot kind of shows like how harsh he can be, and like, you don't need to see him.
Mhm.
It kind of has almost the same resonance as the Emperor did in A New Hope, because you don't see the Emperor in the New Hope, and
Yep.
you kind of see like when they say, how did the Emperor do this, how did the Emperor do that, it's like, oh man, like, who is this dude, the Emperor? Like, he's
Mhm.
important, like,
He
he's doing.
dissolves the Senate.
Yep.
Yep.
So like,
All of that
you
stuff
never
comes
need to
down.
see him. Like, it's like you kind of keep him hidden. He's almost scarier than he actually is. But like,
Yep.
but yeah, the season two had some great moments, like the arc format, and it's crazy how like the first season was like kind of a condensed amount of time, but the story arcs seem very different from each other. You had your through line was Ferrex,
Yes.
but they had
Sure.
different elements. Where the second season, though, you're jumping a year at a time, it's crazy how the through line is Gorman, and it's like almost the same storyline, but you're going across such a longer period of time. It's such a crazy way of doing a story in such different ways. It's like you're condensing it in, like, what, a month maybe, or 2 months or whatever in the first season, to 4 years in the second season, and the
Sure.
story is handled so differently. And oh
Yeah.
man, it's just like, and one thing I'll add too is when you get through it, when you finish it, like, I have critiques about it. We're trying to be positive here. There's a few things about it I
Sure.
didn't like, but like, I feel like the critiques aren't even worth saying, because I don't there's no reason to deter someone from the show. And if anything, it makes Rogue One such a unique, fresher experience. It's crazy. It doesn't really change Rogue One as a movie, but like, the
No.
perspective you watch it in is it makes it so much more enjoyable. That's one thing I wanted to
It
add to it.
it shows, like, and having done the same thing you did, immediately watched Rogue One after I finished
I think
the
most
second
people did.
season.
Most people did.
I like that night I started. I'm like, I just want to see how this starts. Like, where does
Hmm.
it go? And director Krennic, he was a great addition to the second season.
Great, wonderful.
Besides all like the great cast of Imperials
That
that they
I'm just
they
gonna
got for
add, like,
this.
the point with the thing finger on Dedra was just,
Oh,
yeah, the poke,
oh,
the push down, like,
yeah,
oh man, that was supposedly all like improv and surprise.
improvise, yeah. That is terrifying. But it is that kind of person that rises to the role of director within the empire, you know? Like, that's the caliber of person you're dealing with, a true, like, villain, like
Hmm.
Bond villain. Um, and yeah, he's scary. And seeing it in that context, and that's like where you start in Rogue One with him going to see Galen,
Hmm.
right? And just the immediate, like, uh you without knowing anything about him, you're like kind of worried. But now having this kind of context, it's just like, even more.
Well,
It's
it
like
almost like kind of explains
chills.
his he almost explains his like frustration with Tarkin taking over his project, because you watch
Yes.
like all of this backstory of what he went through, how he was trying to, like,
How
his verse,
secretive it was.
yeah, how frustrated and mad he got with Dedra and stuff like that. Like, goes like, how did you find all this out? Like, finding out the mole or whatever it was, like the leak. And oh man, just
Mhm.
some of the scenes, he didn't have a lot of time on the screen, but when he was on the screen, it just like, I wanted more of it. Like, I loved him in the
Yes.
the art gallery. I love that for some reason. Just like
Oh,
that whole
okay. That that was probably the one of the most thrilling moments, but it was so dragged out. That's like one of my complaints, is that in some
you
cases
complained
it's
about. I
a
know
very
it.
modern show, in that they stall a little too long sometimes, just a
Mm,
little too long. And that,
look,
what's her name? Yeah, trying to get the thing from the artifact,
yeah.
like she's and Lonnie is there, like, as her
You
cover.
remember Lonnie's name? I can't remember the girl's name.
I remember
Mara.
Mara.
Is it Mara?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
Mara.
It's not Mara. I know that. But yeah, like, she like, it's crazy, like, it's that she gets her moment. Like, she's always in the background with a lot of the stuff. I've always found her character like really interesting, like wanting to know more. Like, she just seemed to have this presence to her. Like, where did she come from? But you only
Yep.
need one episode to tell it. It's awesome when she's like
And
trying.
not the whole episode. I appreciate that. Yes. Give me all the backstory. And it's after, what's his name is dead. Luthen. After Luthen is dead. And it's like in that moment, she's reflecting on her past, so we reflect with her.
Well,
And it is like
yeah,
glimpses
as
of
she's
their
going to like
relation,
trying to finish the
not
deed,
the whole
right?
thing.
She's like infiltrating the hospital as that happens, I think, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like, it's like I loved it. It was just great, and it's such a great show. I'm glad that you liked it. I don't really know what else to really say about it except just go watch it. As a person
Yes.
that loves Star Wars, like, it was such a freaking experience to go through, and the second season really brought a lot of people in. Like, first season, I think people really liked, but it was surrounded by other shows that like people were just like whatever. So it kind of got buried. I feel like a little bit on the you know the pedestal of amazing storytelling and amazing uh, television. But this second season really kind of brought it out. It's funny we're recording it today. They just announced it got nominated for 14 Emmys. So
Yeah,
like I just like and one of them was outstanding drama. So like I'm glad
good.
that everyone's seeing that. I do find it funny that Forrest Whitaker got nominated for guest actor. Like
Okay,
for
if
the thing,
that's a category, sure.
and then Alan
Look,
Tudyk got nominated for
this
voice acting.
this is honestly, this is what we wanted way back when, before the prequels even. When we wanted new Star Wars and we thought like, "Oh, would there be more Star Wars someday?" I know, like, I wanted to see the lived in world and how they function, you know? I wanted more background, and they finally gave it to us in
Mm-hmm.
this way. And they did it through the vehicle of this story of like amazing story of like how this particular dude became a rebel and like really helped forge
Yeah.
the rebel alliance
Mm-hmm.
and turn it into something more than it was, you know. um I think it's a pretty amazing job. I think that's exactly the kind of Star Wars we want, and that's all I'll say. I will
So
say no other negative thing. Say that
my
more of this, please.
before we hop off here, again, if you liked our show, please like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think of Andor. But do you think you don't have to go too deep into it? Do you think we'll get another show like Andor, or do you think like it's just like this is too hard of a show for Disney to make again? Like I don't know. Like, do you think we'll get
No,
something of similar
they just
quality?
did it.
What?
They just did it, and they'll look if they can. They need to still sell toys and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so you'll still have like Young Jedi Knight adventures and
I mean,
those kinds of
I'm
things.
gonna miss lights. We need
But
lightsabers sometimes. You got to balance it out. But I guess my thing
no,
when I ask this question
I,
is I
I'm
don't
telling
know.
you, you're. Are they going to do another show like this? I'm worried that they would try to imitate something like this and not have the right people and not have the like
Sure,
right kind
because
of
like
elements in place.
Tony
So I would
Gilroy's
say
done.
like,
Like he's done doing it. He's
yeah,
done his time. You know
and
he.
he's like, this was my era. He did Rogue One and he did these two seasons. He's like, this is my contribution,
Yep.
and that's fine.
I,
When you find somebody like that, maybe like a Dave Filoni type or not, just an outsider who, you know, feels like they can tell a story within this universe, not because they wrote for Game of Thrones, not because they did Knives Out, not because of anything else, just because they actually have a good story to share.
Mhm.
Let those ideas in. All right. Stop trying to
So my
cannibalize
pitch for Andor season 3
stuff.
is tell us what happened to the Bothans because you know many Bothans died, and I want to know.
That's for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
That's
but
for the Death Star
that's
plans of Return of the
yeah.
Jedi.
So we need a we need a
What are you
prequel.
gonna call it? Andor Jr.? And it'll be his son befriends
You
Bothans.
don't have to call it Andor season 3, but like, give me just tell me what happens to the Bothans. I want to know
We'll
why they
call it
died.
Andor Jr.
So
And
no, it's
yes,
Andor, a
he'll
Star
go on
Wars story of Rogue One. You know,
a rogue Star Wars story. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm not serious, but I would
Uh,
love to. I like to know what happened to Bothans because many of them died, and I don't know why.
I go with what Battlefront 2 for PlayStation 2 taught me, which was the Bothans were like these rat-like creatures
Well, they're like, yeah,
that 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 died very easily and were good at reconnaissance. That's
yep,
what they were good at.
okay,
They were like the spy class, I
yep.
guess.
They're good spies, but they died. Many of
That's
them.
what I learned about them.
Yeah, Mount Moth is sad. But anyways,
Wouldn't you immediately not trust them if you saw Bothans? Like, isn't that a dead giveaway if there's like a whole species of
I
people
mean,
that are known for as being spies?
yes, there are good Bothans
I
and
don't
there's
want to.
bad
I don't want to.
Bothans.
I don't want to like lump all Bothans together. But if your species is known for spying,
They're also big into politics, and they're kind of sketchy politics as well. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
what's their planet? Isn't it like Bathui?
that might be it. I don't remember. I used to
Come
know.
on, the Star Wars.
It's been a while. Leave me alone.
Get one of your encyclopedias out. I know
Yeah,
you've got one.
it's Bothan
Probably
Planet.
within arm's reach.
No, it's in the my big one. Is it? Well, actually, wait, it is in the other. It's right there. It's right over there. I got it right there. But I'm
I
gonna go
rest my case.
Bothan Planet. I want to know. I just wanted to end it on a funny note. That's
All
all.
right.
That's all I wanted to do.
While Justin is doing this, yes, please check out our back catalog on YouTube. We have our podcast episodes as well as movie reviews.
Mhm.
Lots of stuff. Let's plays. A lot of good stuff.
You are correct,
Check
by
it
the
out.
way. I confirm your it's Bothwy. You're right. Good job. You got it.
Thank you, the Star Wars. That means a lot coming from you.
All right.
Well,
Watch
this has
Andor.
been fun.
Have a good
Yes, go
night.
watch it. We're waiting for it.
Bye
Bye.
bye.